We are live on YouTube, starting on Rumble, starting the music. All right. Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to the Edge of Disclosure, aka ThEoD. This show is about looking up into the skies, thinking about the surroundings, understanding there is always something new to know. We talk about UFOlogy, paranormal happenings, conspiracies, science and technology updates weekly every Saturn's Day or Saturday, depending on how you call it, at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Which is 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 Central, and of course 6 Eastern Standard Time. For links to the sources that we gather, the music, anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below, and all links gathered throughout the show will appear post live stream as per usual. Anyway, I am Xander, and who am I joined by today?
This is Noah.
And
Alice of who? Just don't call me late for dinner, baby.
And you have somebody else with you, Alice. Who's that?
That is, Haley, wow.
Comet Haley Bop is with you? Wow, that's out of this world. All right.
Yeah. Comet Bob.
Yep. Anyway, let's...
Oh, God, no.
Let's jump into all of our stuff that we have here. So, this very first and foremost is we have this 4chan post, and let me read it. Actually, let me bigger it for here.
Bigger it.
Yeah. While in Mexico, and this is from, this guy here, Countly Great Alien, or I guess that's the name of the, this is anonymous, whoever the hell this is. While in Mexico, he ran into Tom DeLong, a great guy. He met him before. Tom, you know exactly who this is, and to prove it, quote, that 12-year-old stole my lighter, end quote. You agreed that if I didn't, you agreed that if you didn't, you agreed that if you didn't tell what you told me, I could publicly say it. I haven't forgotten. Don't get me wrong, I think Tom's a great person, okay, yada yada, okay. So basically he says, aliens don't come from other planets. He said it was a hole in time. Time is not really a thing, and as we know, time is a construct of human perception in order to better, allocate our resources and whatnot. But anyway, and these aliens, they're calling them that because that seems to be what everyone else is calling them, ET, spirits, whatever you prefer. Understand this mechanism. The bad news is that these things are incredibly old, in the millions of years, and apparently to them, we are like an experiment. They have manipulated us and are responsible for the religions, posing as the god or the god of the Israelites, or speaking to Muhammad to sow division, divide humanity, and put us at war with each other, to keep us away from being united by whatever means necessary. Apparently, us being unaware that this is a big experiment for them is very important. And this reminds me of that one South Park episode, with the Earth actually being a TV show. But anyway, it continues on. Military is scared how they may react to us sounding the alarm officially to the public, mainly because they are utterly defenseless. We don't fully grasp how this all works. He also said Tesla was onto something with frequencies on vibration. They are interested in our DNA and evolution. They are responsible for the global catastrophes we've had in the past and resetting humanity when they're angered. Military is worried they'll do the same if we publicly disclose. They are always watching and aware of our actions. So that's one of two theories that we might cover the other theory if we have the time, we'll see. But that's one theory about why disclosure never seems to come, is because those in power and the know that there's a great reset button, to reset civilization, kind of like in the Ren
and Stimpy.
Well, no. I'm thinking about the video game, Mass Effect.
Oh, okay.
With the Reapers and whatever, or
Catalyst and all that. I remember when I played that game.
Yeah. So anyway, before I continue rambling on, Noah, what do you say about that theory and all that stuff?
I think it's believable, but I think it's something that is likely not something that a lot of people would believe, but it could be true.
Yeah.
But I literally, I told you, I moderate UFOB somewhat a little bit. That's a subreddit on UFOs and AAP, the phenomenon, all that stuff. We have about 80-something thousand people on that sub, and I've actually kind of seen some interesting stuff being posted there. There's a lot of cool things that people are talking about that aren't really being eaten up by everyone, because not everybody knows what's going on.
Yep. So, Alice, or Haley or anybody, do you guys have any any input on this? As a talking point or something?
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear what was being discussed.
Oh,
We were talking
basically,
about
in a nutshell.
We're helping a customer
Okay, never mind then.
talking barbecue.
So, but this is a really interesting
no,
theory.
we're not helping a customer anymore now.
Okay.
I think Alice is talking to her friend.
Yeah, well, I think no, she's at work right now.
No.
I think she was helping a customer. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We were talking about the believability of that theory.
Sorry, say again, Alice.
So what just like in layman's terms, what is the conversation at hand?
Basically,
here?
in a nutshell, it's a theory that disclosure will never come because the powers that be, the military-industrial complex, knows of a higher being, not really God, but like ETs, aliens, actually being like from a whole
Something more advanced.
a hole in time, from another dimension that have been watching us since our birth as a species, and every now and then. They destroy civilizations and whatnot. Like you think about Atlantis, the Eye of the Sahara. You think about Doggerland.
That's
you
literally
think about
the Reapers from
Triangle. You
Mass
think about the Dragon's Triangle. You think about all these ancient civilizations that have come and gone. The ones that we know of, and as I said earlier, the whole Mass Effect with the Reapers is just one example in current pop culture and whatnot, but that there's an actual a hyper intelligent thing out there, not thing, but species or whatever that's watching us, kind of like South Park's Earth is actually a reality show. And then when we become aware that we're being watched, then they come and destroy everything and then watch us rebuild. Essentially,
it definitely feels like Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
Yes, I played that game. I should know.
Like I can counter what I'm thinking with something that I mentioned before of the kid who had a theory that when CERN first started up, that it destroyed our universe, but with the way the atom expanded, it thrusted us into an alternate universe.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We have that short.
Isn't that what they say about the Mandela effect?
I'll bring it up right now, actually, Alice. So let me bring this up here. This short.
This actually closely reminds me to something called the Black Knight Satellite or the Black Knight Decoded, a special Pepsi commercial that involved aliens in 2015.
Well, the Black Knight we actually talked about a few weeks ago. Actually, is the Black Knight on the. Okay. Yeah, well, you didn't, but Xander and I did.
I wasn't here again at that point.
No, he wasn't. But anyway, let me play this here really quick, so because this is what Alice was talking about here.
You want to hear a wild one? All right, I went on a little YouTube wormhole situation, and somehow that's what I wound up on this video that was like, world's smartest kid thinks that CERN blew the world up in 2008. He thinks when they collided electrons, I believe, in the super collider, CERN, that they caused some crazy chain reaction that blew up the universe, but they also created an atom that weighed too much. And so what the kid winds up with is this theory of like, one atom weighing too much and is that being just enough to shift our universe into a parallel universe? Yeah, this is it right here.
Read
this
kid. Look at what it says there. He claims that CERN destroyed the universe during recent experiments, which has resulted in us living in a nearby parallel universe instead.
You're welcome, Eddie.
There's a lot of people online that think this is an.
So yeah, essentially that's what Alice was talking about and everything. And that's a really interesting theory. I mean, that would explain like a lot of Mandela effects. That would explain why everything's gone completely tits up in the world. Like nothing makes sense anymore.
What I just said. This is the explanation that they give for Mandela effects. It has something to do with CERN.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks that it's CERN.
Well, CERN's behind a lot of weird things. I mean, that's where the first
CERN
website
is,
was
it's a particle accelerator. We don't really know what they're doing with it, though.
Yeah.
They're just trying to discover about discoveries about bosons. That's what their company says, but who knows what they're doing with it? It's not being publicly announced.
Well, also, look at the emblem they have outside of it and the shape of
You're talking about the statue.
I was about to bring that up too. The statue of the goddess of destruction from the Hindu belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also not only that, if you look at an aerial view of CERN, look at the fact that there's a 666 put into the center of it.
Look at Twitter. Look at the frickin' logo for Chrome. It's the same thing. Google Chrome.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find
Yeah,
the
do you see the
666 you're talking about, Alice. This
Just go to
is
home.cern. I think that's the
this
name
is
of
the
the website.
statue I was talking about here.
Well, also look. Oh, actually, also
CERN.
look at where how CERN is. There's 3 sixes in CERN.
Oh, I see,
With their
yeah.
ideal, like their.
Alice, it
But
wasn't an
also,
aerial
I heard
view.
that
It was
the
the
aerial-
logo of CERN. It's not the aerial view.
Yeah, it's
I could've
it's
sworn
the
also
logo. No,
on
it is the
the,
logo. I'm looking at the
aerial
logo.
view.
I'll
I'm
send
looking
you
at the logo
Oh,
right
wait,
now,
no.
and I see the 666 right here.
I can say
Actually,
that.
hold on a
No.
second. Right there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like the aerial view of the Kennedy Memorial has the letter Q in it, which is a whole different kit and
Well,
caboodle.
Q is the whole thing
That
with
was
it being the
the-
17th, whatever letter in the alphabet. It's a
Yeah,
Trump
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
QAnon
but let's
is
not talk about that.
related to this.
That could be a YouTube sensitive topic.
Yeah.
So
That probably
let's not
is.
talk
No,
about
I don't
that
think you're
on
supposed to mention
YouTube.
that.
Yeah, no, that's why we have the Rumble section, Noah, so that way, like, don't even mention non-YouTube friendly things, because I don't want to get any more
'cause
hits. So
you're not allowed to even talk about the
Yeah,
a certain disease. If you know what I
speculation
mean?
I know, yeah.
Conspiracy
Yeah.
stuff. But boys,
So-
I'm gonna mute myself here because I'm gonna go walk up to Wally World here. So I'm off the clock, but I am gonna be listening and
Alright.
popping in when I can. But I gotta do some couple little shopping things here. But I'll pop in and out intermittently here for the next half an hour
Okay.
to hour. Okay.
Okay, but anyway, to continue on with this, like, going back to the whole, like, to the first topic we were talking about, like, with that 4chan post or whatever, or Channel 4 or something, like, I'm gonna read what I posted here. I am a believer in ancient civilizations. You know, I brought this up a little bit. I think Atlantis was more than the city, and there definitely was something in Doggerland, the sunken area east of the UK, because, like, you know, they were dredging and they found some, like, artifacts and everything, and, you know, what was it, 30 meters of water or something, and so there obviously was, you know, human, presence there back in the time. So I think Atlantis was more than just one city. Now I think, like, the famous city that we all know, you know, from Plato and all that stuff, is actually in the Eye of the Sahara, aka what it's called something else. You remember the name, Noah? Like,
I only know about
structure, I
Tartar.
think.
I don't remember, but I know that Tartaria was what they used to call Asia way back when. There's something there's a subreddit for that theory about all these things that were ancient wonders that are gone now. And one of the theories that is that Asia used to be called Tartaria, and there's a subreddit about it called the Mud Flood.
Yeah.
I'll find it for you.
But yeah, like, you
It's a
know, I
conspiracy
believe
theory.
that, like, you know, back in the time, like, you know, of Atlantis or anything. Now, the theory goes that there is, like, Atlantis, you know, and maybe it was one city, maybe it was a whole civilization. There's a lot of theories out there. But, like, one of the theories goes that Atlantis had a rival on Earth way back in the day, and those two, empires went to war and blew each other up, you know, mutually assured destruction, mad. You know, and that ties in with a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, I don't even want to start going down that rabbit hole of thinking and everything, you know, because you know me.
I'm looking at that subreddit right now.
But,
It's
like, you know,
pretty
you
much
look
a
at the
conspiracy
pyramids,
theory.
you know, you look at all that stuff, and, like, you know, and you look at Coral Castle, you know, like, how did he build all that and everything? So, like, I believe that there was an ancient civilization, that they were very smart, and then they disclosed that we were being watched by an outside source, and then that outside source reset everything, and then, you know, now we're back here. So,
Can I be honest?
How many times has
Can I
this
be honest
cycle
right
been done? You know?
Well, if you think about it, and this isn't tying in biblical scripture that I probably shouldn't. I don't know if this is the right thing to do or
Well, if
not.
you're talking about Sodom and
No,
Gomorrah
I'm talking
and all
about.
that stuff?
I'm talking about the flood, Noah's
Noah's
flood.
flood. Your flood.
Yes. Oh, yeah, sure. My flood. Like the flood that flooded the world for 40 days and 40 nights until it stopped raining, and then the flood. Remember that? Okay, so how else do you explain there being pyramids in the middle of a desert? What was there before the desert?
Well, as we know, northern Africa, the Sahara, was a lush tropical rainforest, 50,000 years ago or something? Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't
that's
that
not even long enough
when
ago.
you
That's
think
not.
about it.
I mean, I don't know anything about the timelines. I'm not a scholar.
Well, let me look
but,
it up
like,
really quick. When was the Sahara a jungle? 10,000 years ago. Wow.
Okay.
So that's even closer than I thought.
So it's not every day that you see a rainforest like that or a jungle, and then it just I know over 10,000 year period is a long time, but how did it die? Or was it just buried?
The climates change, you know, like, The Earth is on a wobble. We spin around. Like, seasons come, seasons go. Things change. Climate change is real. Like, it's happened. We've had an ice age. We will have another one again. It's just part of the cycle. Like, But going to the pyramids, you're talking about, like, pyramids and jungles. That made me think, Mesoamerica, the Aztecs, Incans, and Mayas, they all built pyramids in the jungle.
No one knows how they got there or who built them, except for, of course, they were Egyptians, we think. I mean, sure. But, like, it's the same thing with Stonehenge and the Georgia Guidestones and stuff like that.
Well, Georgia Guidestones came later, way later.
Yeah, but they were destroyed already.
Yeah.
Some idiot probably decided to set a bomb.
No, they were taken down because the powers that be don't want it in our face what they plan to. You reduce the population of the world to 500 million.
Honestly, I think it was a terrorist act, but whatever.
Well, it was, but it was a thing to get rid of what the elites are trying to do. With their. I don't want to start going down that topic of discussion on YouTube. Yeah. But
don't be talking about stuff like that on a public video. Yeah, they'll make you not do it.
Well, no, on Rumble it'll be fine, but on YouTube, they're like, very.
Well, what I'm saying is, it was partly sarcastic because they're going to remove everything they don't want you to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, like, getting back to the topic on hand, like, like Stonehenge, the pyramids, and it's not just Egypt and Mesoamerica. There's pyramids all over the world. Yeah,
we have no idea how they built them so perfectly. You ever seen the Mayan or the Aztec pyramids? They were like. Also, we don't know who built them or how they did it. How they did it. We know
that the Mayans and the Aztecs and stuff built those
pyramids. We don't know how they built it so accurately for the time. It was like, we can't even do that now.
Well, no, I mean, the pyramids in Egypt are the accurate ones. Like, the ones and they're not as flat as far as I'm aware.
Well, they have steps. They have steps.
But I mean, like, are the stones like the same? Like, because I know the ones in Egypt. On the pyramids, you can't even put a paper between the stones. But are they like that precise, in Mesoamerica as well? Like, I don't know.
All I know is we don't know how they got built the way they got built back then.
Now that reminds me, Alice told me about a theory that they used water to float the stones up to the top, and like, let's see if I can actually find it. Water.
That was about the Egyptian pyramids, though, not the Mayan and Aztec.
I know, but like, this is just one example. Like, here's a video that we were talking about.
I know all about it.
So
you might want to mute the videos to your
So you've seen how they use physics to use buoyancy
rock around
to work for them,
to like just lift the things up there and all that stuff. That's pretty wild.
It's a waterfall, basically.
No, it's a reverse water. No. What they do?
I mean, it is, yeah.
Yeah. No, they because like let me bigger this here. So like you can see the stones and they have like air bladders on the top. They put them into a closed thing full of water, and then they just float to the top because of buoyancy. And then at the top they just float out to the the pyramid, and then and all that stuff. It's a really interesting video.
That. You wouldn't think of that kind of stuff in this day and age because you'd have machines carrying it for you.
Well, I mean, somebody thought about it in this day and age. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying that everyone doesn't know. Not everyone knows how to think the way they knew how back then. They used their brains. That's why we evolved into something that made us lazy.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's what you're saying. So, like, the advent of technology and ease of access and everything has made us more
Neanderthals were smarter than us. They just knew how. They didn't know how to speak. They couldn't speak language. It wasn't. They didn't have speech.
Well, they probably had
when
speech,
we learned how to speak, we actually became a little bit or a lot dumber when we learned how to speak. That's what I think I know.
Where do you go? Like, why do you say that? That's a weird thing.
Because it expanded part of our neocortex, and then we, from speech, learned how to do art, culture, like advanced sciences. But we made ourselves dumber by learning to do that by getting lazy in the same way. We were not smarter than a Neanderthal is back then. We went back in time.
We're not as creative, is what you're saying. It's not a question of intelligence. It's a measure of creativity.
If you can go back in time to where Neanderthal was or when they existed, you wouldn't know how to survive. But a Neanderthal might.
Well, I mean, I can figure out how to survive. Like, forage for food, build a shelter. Like.
Yeah.
I mean. It would be more
and
accustomed
correct
to
me
it,
if I'm
sure.
wrong. Like I could be just totally out of left field and totally wrong.
Well, I think
this could be totally incorrect, but I think it's what I heard.
Well, I think your energy is good, but your approach is not 100%.
What do you mean by my energy or approach?
Well, what I'm saying is like I don't think it's a question of intelligence. I think it's a question of working with the tools you have. So like, I mean, like, a great example is my birth mother. She buys this one specific type of yogurt, and when the yogurt thing is empty, you can actually you fill it with water and you freeze it. And then that forms into a really big ice cube that fits perfectly into a glass and takes forever to melt. So you can have, like, you can refill your glass and have the same ice cube. So you have one ice cube rather than a whole tray. So, like, because of her lack of resources, she has to get thrifty and get creative with what she has. I believe is what you're saying. So, like, today with the advent of technology and, like, all of our advancements, and this is why I'm a neo-Amish. Like, we're so used to our technological advances that we've kind of lost our ability to imagine and create.
It's our cognitive thinking skills.
Well, I also heard somebody say something about bushcrafting, survival
sort of,
out in the wilderness.
Well, I mean, not really, kind of.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
well, for me, like, my idea of being thrifty and self-reliant is, like, I have a green thumb, and so I grow vegetables and stuff like that. One thing I can't provide is I obviously can't have have cattle or meat or anything like that, like, by any means, or lambs. But I do have friends that have farms that have goats and cows and pigs that they use for all sorts of things, like making cheese, making milk, making butter, etc. Me, I'm more of a person who likes to build, like, bushcraft, like, shelters and stuff.
Yeah.
And can make a fire.
But we weren't really talking about that. We were just talking about the ability to survive if we somehow traveled back in time to the age of Neanderthals. Who would survive better, Neanderthal or modern human? And Neanderthal, probably would, because, they're used to that environment, but that doesn't mean that the modern human would just die, because, like, we could, as you say, bushcrafting and everything, but, like, just to survive off the land. But, like, the point of conversation Noah and I were having, Alice, is that, like, with all of our technological advancements, all of our modern sciences, all of our machines, all of our knowledge and everything, we've really lost on an individual level creativity and figuring out, like, and what stemmed this conversation, Alice, is what you said, what you brought up the other day about utilizing water to build the pyramids. We would never think about building the pyramids like that today, because we have all these machines, we have all these other things. Back then they didn't, so they had to get creative. So
people see it as a primitive style of whatever, but it was actually pretty advanced for what they had at the time.
Yeah, or was it advanced, question mark, or are we just giving them more credit just because they're doing things that we could have never imagined, Like, it's all in perspective.
I think the fact that they realize, like, laws of gravity with water and buoyancy and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, like, they knew ships floated. They probably didn't know anything about, buoyancy and all that stuff, but I mean, like, you put something
it was observed.
in the water and it stays on the top, so you attach it to stones and it'll, trial and
I think
error,
buoyancy was first absorbed. I would think buoyancy was observed in ancient Rome.
Well, think about lumberjacks, how they use the rivers to float big giant logs down to the mill.
Yeah, you're talking about log drivers, not lumberjacks.
Well, you know what I mean.
Lumberjacks cut the trees, log drivers drive them.
Well, the lumberjacks would cut the trees, and then you'd have the guys bring them down. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry, I used the wrong word. Alright, I'm muting again because I'm now inside Wally World.
Alright.
Okay, so water displacement was observed in ancient Rome with a bathtub, I believe. That's the way they told it.
That's that's as far back as we have documented. That doesn't mean that they didn't know about it in ancient Egypt.
Oh, I know that. That's when we first. It was called the Archimedes principle when they discovered it. Like Archimedes, here's the story, was possibly the world's greatest scientist, at least greatest in the classical age. He was a physicist, mathematician, astronomer, inventor, and engineer.
Can you send me the link that you're reading off of so I can post it up here too?
Yes, you may. I'll put it in the channel, or I'll put it in your DMs.
Okay.
It's basically, he observed that when he got in the bathtub, the water rose. So that's called the Archimedes principle. There it is. That's him.
That's water displacement, not buoyancy.
But it's similar. I believe it's similar.
Yeah, I mean, buoyancy
is when you float.
So.
Okay, so yeah, it's not about floating things that are floating, I guess. Like, it's actually about the
Well, I mean, like, you
displacement
don't know,
of water.
you have step one correct,
Yes.
water displacement, and that is the basis for
Mhm.
buoyancy. How much water does a thing displace, and that equals buoyancy or non-buoyancy.
Well, that
So-
goes back to the thing with the pyramids, because you were talking about them floating up to the top of the
Well,
the
yeah,
water
like,
reverse
not
waterfall. Kind of.
necessarily. Like the stones are not buoyant, but utilizing physics and putting in something that is buoyant on top of something that isn't, now that's floating to the top like a submarine with a ballast. You know?
Okay. Hey, I'm going to have to tell you now because apparently the house manager here, his name is Raul. Raul is
You
going to
don't
be
need- please
leaving
don't dox
pretty
people on
soon.
the show.
Well, the point is that I won't be able to use my headphones when he leaves. So
Okay.
we're gonna have worse audio for me, and I might just have to take off for a bit if he does that.
All right. Well,
And I really feel bad about that because there's no one
get
else
to there
here
when we
except
get
for
to
me.
there. All right. So let me add
Okay.
this Archimedes principle into the.
So I just thought he was gonna be here the whole day. I didn't know. Well, whatever. I hate living in a group home so much
I
sometimes.
bet, yeah. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic at hand here. Let's see here. What do we got? Let me move on back up here. Okay, so getting completely off of this, there's this. Have you heard about white traffic lights?
White traffic lights. No, because I saw something you said they were gonna come up with a fourth
Yes.
color, but I didn't get to read it yet. Go on.
So basically, like what I wrote here, the white phase concept rests on the fact that it is possible for AVs, automatic vehicles, I believe that's what this AV stands for, to communicate wirelessly with both each other and computer controlling traffic signal. Hold on a second. Traffic signals. When enough AVs are approaching the intersection, this would activate the white light. The white light is a signal that AVs are coordinating their movement to facilitate traffic through the intersection more efficiently. Any non-automated vehicles, those being driven by a person, would simply be required to follow the vehicle in front of them. If the car in front of them stops, they stop. If the car in front of them goes through the intersection, they go through the intersection.
Okay, but this isn't for regular cars. This is only for self-driving, like
No,
the
but
Tesla
this is what's
automobiles.
coming because of so much self-driving cars coming. Now they're going to start adding in a fourth light. We have red, yellow, and green. Now we're going to have
Okay,
a
so
fourth,
my
the
question
white
is,
light
and
for
I
all
know
these,
you-
automatic vehicles.
My question is, and I know you probably just read this thing out loud to me, but what does the signal what does the yellow white light signal? What does it tell you to go, to stop?
The white
What is
light
it?
is a signal that automatic vehicles are coordinating their movement to facilitate traffic through the intersection more efficiently.
So you just follow them like you said because of
Yes.
that. If you had an automatic vehicle going around the intersection, the white light would tell it what to do.
If
And it
it's
would
too
do it.
many,
And
like,
then-
it's
okay.
not every. It's not every. If multiple AVs are coming from multiple directions, then the white light will be used, if I'm reading this correctly, to better facilitate communication because they're communicating with each other. But then they have that white light. Now they have like another thing of communication. About like I have this link here. Let me send this to you so you can read it. There you go. That's what I'm looking at right now. So, like, researchers propose a fourth light on traffic signals for self-driving cars. So,
Yeah.
and let me add
Okay,
this.
I have it. I have it in my DMs. You just sent it to me. Thanks. Oh yeah, the reason there's Eureka in the title of that webpage where it says the Archimedes principle, he shouted Eureka as he made his discovery.
Yeah.
And the myth or the legend goes, he ran naked through the hallways to explain his scientific discovery to the Emperor of Rome, and he shouted Eureka and took off without even wearing anything and just explained it. Said,
Well,
look at my
I can't blame him.
discovery.
He discovered something magnificent. Ain't no time for clothes.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I know that the word Eureka is something that they said he shouted when he made his discovery.
Yep. And that's
That's where
where,
it comes from.
Eureka, the word comes from. Eureka, Thank you,
Yeah.
Archimedes. So, isn't
I
he the
saw
one
it on a
who-
movie.
Doesn't
Yeah.
Archimedes try to fly with wax wings or something? Or was
I
that somebody
think
else?
that's. Are you talking about the Icarus that
That's
flew too close to
Icarus.
the sun?
Well, that
He
was
flew too close to the sun.
okay.
That was a Greek myth.
Okay. But didn't Archimedes try to do something with flight too?
I don't remember. All I know is the story about the bathtub.
Yeah. But this
But
is
I saw it on
interesting.
a movie about math. It's called Pi, like P-I, like the
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
That's the name of a movie that I saw it on.
3.14,
It's
I
a
know.
very good movie. Actually, a very excellent movie. It's better than good. It's actually in black and white and made to look like it was from a long time ago. It has a lot to do with like mathematicians, and like this main character is a math guy, right? And so in the movie, he wants to get this number. He got his computer's mainframe to print. It said like back in the day, but like he has like his own custom computer thing going on, and he's trying to do something with the stock market and all that. And he sees this number that flashes on his screen. He thinks it's a bug. He talks to his mentor, who tells him the story about Archimedes. And when he's talking to him about it, he says, the point of the story is you need to take a bath. You need to relax yourself and forget this number that you're trying to get. Because it printed it on his screen. He tried to take a print screen, but he didn't get it at first. And it's a very interesting movie, actually.
So yeah, well that's a really good concept. The more you're focused on something, the less likely you're gonna get. It's every now and then you gotta relax, you gotta unplug yourself, you gotta distance, and then reapproach it. Clear your head, you know?
I will send you the scene where he talks about Archimedes. If you want.
Yeah, no, of course, please do.
Yeah, here it is.
In the underbar section. So.
Okay.
But like, you know, this is really interesting. Adding, you know, another traffic light, you know, as you know, cars and everything, like, you know, advanced and all that stuff, and all this self-driving AI, and you know, that scares the hell out of me. Like, that's a whole can of worms, you know, that we don't have time.
It's
for
called.
to open yet.
Here. This is the scene I was talking about. I'll send it to you just to play it for a minute. Well, you can play it when we're done. I don't know if it'll let you play it on.
Because it's relevant to the conversation.
Yeah, but the audio, if you do, I don't know if it's going to let you keep your audio. Like you might get muted for playing things like that. But this is uploaded. This was in
the underbar so other people can watch it on their side.
It's not really even on an important channel like WB or whatever. It's on a channel of some guy named Matthew Wink. He uploaded it. It's really not even like you probably could play it actually. I mean.
Right. Well, let me play this. It's 2 minutes long. It's from Matthew. Matthew Inc. 22.
I said. Oh, I thought it was Wink.
No,
it
it's
is.
Inc.
Yeah,
as I said, I'm gonna add this. So, like, you know, please, you go check this out and stuff. So let's see.
Yeah, please check out this movie. It's a very good movie. It's about numbers and the Torah and like very interesting concepts.
The ancient Japanese considered the go board to be a microcosm of the universe. Although, when it is empty, it appears to be simple and ordered. The possibilities of gameplay are endless. They say no two Go games have ever been alike, just like snowflakes. So,
this is the guy that
the
was
Go
in
board
Breaking Bad.
actually represents an extremely complex and chaotic universe. And that is the truth of our world, Max. It can't be easily summed up with math. There is no simple pattern.
But as a Go game progresses, the possibilities become smaller and smaller. The board does take on order. And all the moves are predictable. So maybe, even though we're not sophisticated enough to be aware of it, there is a pattern. An order underlying every Go game. Maybe that pattern is like the pattern in the stock market. The Torah.
Why did you speed
this
it up?
216 number.
This is insanity, Max.
Or maybe it's genius. I have to get that number.
Hold on, you have to slow down. You're losing it. You have to take a breath. Listen to yourself. You're connecting a computer bug I had with a computer bug you might have had and some religious hogwash. If you want to find the number 216 in the world, you will be able to find it everywhere. 216 steps from your street corner to your front door. 216 seconds you spend riding on the elevator. When your mind becomes obsessed with anything, you will filter everything else out and find that thing everywhere. 320, 450, 22, whatever. You've chosen 216 and you will find it everywhere in nature. But Max, as soon as you discard scientific rigor, you're no longer a mathematician. You're a numerologist.
Yeah, that's the wrong scene, but that's the right movie. I found the wrong one. I apologize. And you sped it up like twice the speed you should have. What the heck?
I sped it up so that way,
it wouldn't take up all the time.
Yeah, well,
but it was only 2 minutes.
It's 2 minutes long. I sped it up because, I'll explain it off camera. It's not really our video to play. It's this guy's product. So
right, what I'm trying to find is the explanation for this 216 number. That's a real thing. It's in the Bible somewhere about that number.
It is, but this
English,
reminds me of the movie 13.
Not English.
Actually, not was it 13 or
23? Number 23.
The one with what's his face?
Yes, Jim Carrey.
Thank you. No.
That's the number 23.
Yeah.
But this is what it says here about the 216 number. It actually printed something. He printed something in the movie. He printed it out, right? But then when he tried to copy it again from memory again later on, they changed one digit from an 8 to a 6 when he wrote it on his handwriting. This is what they're talking about here.
I'll check that out in a second. I'm trying to find my movies nights channel.
I think we're veering a little bit off topic though right now.
Well, no, that's the point of this. Like, you know, it's free
Yeah.
flowing with. So here you go, Pie in the Movie Mind. So.
Yeah. So this is scroll down. Oh, from what I had here, go down to where it has there. So it has the Orthodox sect believes that one particular 216-digit number, properly translated, is the true name of God and assumes the mathematics found it.
Where are you reading
on the same thing you're looking at. Just type in the word.
So I can highlight it so people watching can see where you're at.
Control F with that.
Control F.
Yeah, this is the plot of the movie.
Oh, okay.
This is not really. I mean, this is the premise of the movie we just played a scene from.
What were you reading? What paragraph?
Just copy that and put Control F and put it in. You'll see. It says where pi tells the story of a mathematician working in number theory at the beginning of the paragraph. No, it's like just type Control F and hit what I put in what I sent you. Okay. Yes, it's below that. Below that. Go down. It's the fourth paragraph.
Thank you. That's what you needed to tell me.
Yes, I'm trying to find out which one just now. Okay. It is. It's that one right there.
Okay.
See, the Orthodox sect believes.
So reread it, please.
Right. Okay. It says, pi tells the story of a mathematician working in number theory. His work attracts the attention of a sect of Orthodox Jews strongly interested in numerology, like gematria, basically. The mathematician's computer churns out a 216-digit number that apparently has some special power or significance. The film never explains what he was trying to do with the number when the number bursts forth. But the Orthodox sect believes that one particular 216-digit number, properly translated, is the true name of God, and assumes the mathematician has found it. The struggle for control of the number coincides with the mathematician's own descent into madness.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So let me add this in the underbar as well. So yeah,
right.
There we go. Well, I need to watch that and the number 23. Thank you for reminding me about that movie too. By the way,
yeah, they were both good movies. I still think that. I mean, the ending is interesting of the movie. If you just watch like the ending, you'll see. Oh, that's very. They were very sly at the very end. But I wasn't talking about 216 a moment ago. What were we going to go do next?
Well, let's see here. What else do we got on the docket? Let me scroll back all the way. This is the wrong channel. Hold on a second. Let me scroll back down here so I don't lose my mind. Edge of
Do you know what gematria is, though?
No.
It's okay. I'll have to show you that later. That's also explained in the movie.
Can you explain it to me in a brief something? Or...
It's another 1-minute video if you want to watch it.
Oh yeah, no, send it to me. The reason why I play it on fast is that way we can get through it. It's not illegible. It's a little fast, but it also, gives people a reason to go see it in normal speed to fully understand. I'm trying to get people to go to these other people because it's.
All right, I have it.
So
I have the scene. It's about the Fibonacci sequence also. This part.
The golden ratio. Yeah.
Exactly. The golden spiral ratio mean. Here you are. This is the other scene I was talking about. It's called Pi. Math is everywhere. The name of the video, and this is a very interesting scene.
Hey, Max. Buddy Meyer. Stop. Put it out. So, what do you do?
You sped it up again.
I did. I'm actually gonna reduce it to
math? What kind of math?
Good. It's too fast.
Research mostly.
No way. I work with numbers myself. I mean, not traditional. I work with the Torah. Amazing. Hebrew's all math. It's all numbers. You know that? Here, look. The ancient Jews used Hebrews in
Max is also a Jewish name.
Each letter's a number. Like the Hebrew A, Aleph, it's 1. B, Bet, it's 2. You understand? But look at this. The numbers are interrelated. Like take the Hebrew word for father. Av, Aleph, Bet. 1, 2 equals 3. All right? Hebrew word for mother, Aim, Aleph, Mem. 1, 40 equals 41. Sum of 3 and 41, 44. All right? Now, Hebrew word for child. All right? Mother, father, child. Yelad. That's 10, 30, and 4. 44.
That's the kid stuff.
Torah is just a long string of numbers. Some say that it's a code sent to us from God.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's just kid stuff. Check this out, okay? The word for the Garden of Eden, Kedem. Numerical translation, 144. Now the value of tree of knowledge, all right, in the garden, right? Eitz HaChaim, 233. 144, 233. Now you can take those numbers.
Like the Fibonacci sequence?
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci's an Italian mathematician in the 13th century. If you divide 144 into 233, the result approaches theta.
Theta?
Theta.
THETA.
Greek symbol for golden ratio, golden spiral.
Wow.
Wow. Never saw that
I
before.
never saw that before. That's like that series you find in nature? Like the face of a sunflower?
Wherever the spirals.
Or a seashell.
You see the math
Fingerprint.
everywhere.
The rest of it is just him showing the spirals in his smoke.
Yeah.
That's the whole video. That's the whole video. I'll send you some stuff on Gematria. You can put
And
in the
that's
description if
from
you
the
want.
same movie, right?
Same movie. Same movie.
Alright, so let me
Very
add
good
that
movie.
in as well. So.
And the thing I sent you also is a Gematria calculator, so you can use words like it's the substitution of numbers instead of Hebrew letters in Hebrew.
Oh wow.
That's how all the words are interconnected. So yeah, it is kind of interesting the way that language works in that way. Like Hebrew is
well,
probably the perfect language.
Have you done? Oh hey, welcome to the show, Ghost. Have you done the math to see if that Hebrew calculation was correct? Like.
You can search it on the Hebrew on the calculator I just sent you.
Okay.
Gematria.
Okay.
Gematrix.org. Yeah.
Okay, so let me add.
Like through the word child, it'll come up as 44.
Okay.
And also 216. The heck. It says English gematria and child and for gematria is 216, but child in Hebrew gematria is even go to 44. And then there's also simple gematria, 36, the same word. Each letter is, I believe, they're the sum of the characters added together. Because C is, like in simple gematria, it'll be C is 3, whereas in English it'll be 18, whereas in Hebrew it will be 3 again. And some of the numbers are a little different on some of them. Try typing in the word child in there, you'll see.
Yeah.
Or did you do it already? I wasn't looking.
I'm not doing it. Like, but I'm adding all these links for people to go do it themselves and all that stuff. So.
We really got distracted by that movie though that I brought up.
I do want to watch that movie. That is really interesting.
It is a very good movie. You will like it.
Yeah, I will. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic here. I have this video, 800-meter disc seen with Arcabello radio telescope, December of this year. UFO sighting news.
Hey guys, welcome.
Hold on a second. So I'm not going to play this whole video, but like I will add this in the underbar, but this is what it saw. So this is what the telescope is seeing, and it's seeing some kind of disc-shaped something. And this guy goes off. He has all sorts of things here. And I have not seen this video, honestly. I just haven't had the time. But I will be adding this in the underbar, as per usual. So like disc seen in space. So like, on the surface level, like what do you think about this? Like, we've seen potentially an alien spacecraft, maybe a mothership with a radio telescope. What do you say about that, Noah?
Yes. Well, it says here in the title, you said 800-meter disc seen with the Arecibo radio. Wait, I mean like the Arecibo, like the return signal?
The radio telescope. Whatever.
Yeah, I know what Arecibo. There's an Arecibo message. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh my god, you don't know what the Arecibo message is, but you know about Arecibo.
I know about the WOW signal.
That's something else. The Arecibo message, we beamed binary into space, hoping to get a response, and the binary took a shape, and that we like showed them like this is our structure, our cellular, our DNA. This is who we are. This is how we live. I'll show it to you.
So it's
Arecibo
basically like a
message.
binary version of the golden disc that we sent on, what was it? The
yeah,
Voyager?
but the funny thing is, we actually got a return signal decoded to sent back to us.
Was it legible, or are we sure it's not some kind of like, sunburn?
I will find you a very important. I have it bookmarked. Here. Arecibo reply. Here it is.
Let's see.
And I have a few other things. I'm gonna send you some stuff. I also have a page about crop circles, because the return message came back to us in Arecibo, but also in the form of a crop circle. This is the Arecibo message.
Are we sure it's not somebody on the inside making a fake crop circle?
No. Look at this.
No,
this
it's the one with the little thing that shows our DNA and everything he's talking about. Did you hear about the laser beam cat thing that was returned back to us?
No.
from 27 billion miles
This is
away.
what we sent out on the left in your DMs, and on the back, on the right side, is what returned to us in the form of the shape of a crop circle. I used to have that picture of the crop circle actually somewhere saved.
Oh my god.
But it's all binary
this
also.
This has been around for a while, dude. I remember seeing this, but yeah, this was something that was sent on a golden disc.
Yes.
And it was printed out in a crop circle back to us.
Well, no. Time out. The golden disc is something else. He's talking about a binary signal sent into space, and we got a signal back. Not talking about, what was it, the Voyager 2 or whatever that we sent just out with the golden disc?
Yeah,
is that something else, Noah?
but this makeup
I'm
is
trying
on
to
that
find the
disc
crop
as well.
circle that existed. Okay, here it is. I found it. I found the crop circle.
Binary language as in zeros and ones.
Yes.
I'll send you a picture. There's another picture, but this is just the one that's not from like the same camera, like same point of view. But that's essentially what we sent out. And then there's a face on the bottom corner.
So
also,
right
see
here,
that
this
right?
is what we sent for anybody watching. Right here, I have this picture up right here. This is what we sent, and this is what we got back. Now, there's some minor differences.
Scroll down.
The first one, though, the major difference is the red figure in the middle. That is big right there. And then here's the crop circle that Noah's talking about. And that's
and that thing in the corner.
So
look at that thing in the corner that has a face. That's on Mars. That's on Mars.
That's on Mars?
Yep, that's on Mars.
What do you mean that's on Mars?
I'll try to find it. Hang on.
Is that the face?
It's called the face on Mars. Look.
So you're talking about the giant rock structure that we thought was a face on Mars, right?
No, look at hang on, I have to find the.
You sent it to me the same
here.
picture.
It's actually not on Mars. I'm sorry. It's next to the Arecibo crop
that's
circle.
what I'm saying. It's you're right
yeah.
there.
I'm sorry, but there is something like that on This is what it's taught. See the picture there? Now look at this one. This is on Mars.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. If it looks like the face on Mars, so you have this one.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing because they beamed the likeness of it back to Earth, and it became a crop circle. I believe the story goes, but I don't know what the hell how I could actually do that. All I know is that it was there. And that's the same thing that you see in that little crop circle on the same thing that's on Mars.
Yeah. Well, right here it shows here, like in the circle on the side, the little rectangle from the main. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing. So this face thing is like what, a quarter mile away, if that.
You should really look up crop circles on Google Images. Look what they look like.
Well, I know what the crop circles look like, dude. Like
no, they're not all the same. They're very different. No, look, there are designs. Just go on Google Images.
I've seen a lot of crop circles. No, I've seen all the not all the design, but no, they can measure from simple things to like extremely complex. I know. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of different designs. Some of them have very interesting designs.
Yes. This is really interesting. So.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about here, just for you to pull it up real fast to show the people on the stream.
Yeah, I know. Like, all these different designs, complex things, but like, didn't they disprove some of these, like, at,
Some of them, yes.
So
I think some of them. There are debunkers all over the place. We don't know.
But there is also the aspect of, like, some of them, like, the stalks are broken weird, or they're not even broken. They're more like bent or melted, and there is traces of radiation, like on some of these.
Mm-hmm.
So this is obviously an advertisement. So,
well, who knows? It could be. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's a strange crop circle there, but yeah, interesting stuff here. But yeah, so anyway, moving on to the next topic right here. I have, we got that one, we got this. So let me bring up this other, I have this Professor Gary Nolan and Ross Coulter at full interview UFO UAP news. This is an hour or some odd long. Pause the video. There we go.
Yeah, we're not going to cover the whole thing, obviously.
No, we're not. But like, I just have this just to really add into the underbar for people to to see their own self. So let's see here. UFO UAP interview. Let me add that to. There we go. All right. So yeah, I just wanted, like, I didn't even, have time to watch this either, so I don't really have much to talk about that. But there is this other thing I want to talk about before we get out of UFOlogy and whatnot. Is there anything else you want to add, to any of the topics we've discussed so far, Noah?
The I receive a message by itself is interesting. I don't think there's anything to add to it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything to add to it besides that. All I know is I used to have some pages bookmarked with the actual picture of the crop circle from an aerial view right above. And I lost them, so I'll find them again maybe later. And who knows?
getting out of the ufology stuff a little bit, getting more into technology and whatnot. Like, and I'm gonna play this at a faster speed. But there's some things I want to show about this.
Pallet floats gently to Earth. Rapid Dragon is different from the standard pallet drop. As the pallet descends, it orients its missile cargo nose down. The missiles fall out of their containers, pointing straight down. The descent allows the missile's turbine engines to spin up, the wings to deploy, and the missile to proceed to the target. Rapid Dragon is designed to fit in a 6-pack pallet for smaller C-130J Super Hercules transport planes, and a 9-pack for larger, longer-range C-17 Globemaster 3s. A C-130J has a cargo section length of 41 feet, while the pallet in the video above is about 14 feet long, so each plane can probably carry 2 pallets with 12 missiles.
Hold on, is my microphone? Okay, there we go. So basically, like, I just wanted to bring to attention this technology we have in warfare, and this has been something that's been around for quite some time, but there is a new thing, with cluster munitions. Let's see if they show it here, like, or maybe we've already passed it, question mark. I'm trying to see if it shows, like, because the missiles themselves contain more missiles and everything, so like it's a weapons deployment platform that
field commanders to quickly get a large number.
I just muted this so I can talk over. So yeah, it every one of them launches between 6 to 9 of those missiles each, and those missiles themselves have more missiles inside of them. And let's see if I think we've already skipped it a little bit. I'm not even sure, but it's a very interesting piece of technology, and I don't remember. I think it was Peets, Jacob Peets, who told me about this.
Yeah.
And he was talking about why haven't we used, like, if we're pulling out all the stops, with, things that we're going, like all the stuff that's happening, I don't want to get into it. Why aren't we using things like this, like, so.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting idea, so anyway, let me add that into the description thing here. So, Dragon Bomb. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, what else do we have? Let me delete this. What else is on the docket? Okay, yeah, this is really interesting. So I'm going to mute myself here so we can watch this if it loads.
Me too.
Okay, here we go.
Free energy. This guy, Maxwell Chikumbutsu from Zimbabwe, he created a generator that does not use any power source. So this generator creates free energy using frequencies from the atmosphere. This one generator can power 300 homes. These two scientist guys went out there to test it, and they're like, yeah, it's legit. And they're like, how did you know how to build this? And he says when he sleeps, he gets revelations from God of how to create these things. He says, this is how he told me to make it. But this dude has a target on his back. So he's been in prison in Zimbabwe multiple times.
You're too smart.
He came to the US at one point and he was poisoned and almost died. And he cannot get any of his patents patented because if it defies physics, it cannot be patented.
Imagine if everything goes black in the world and that's the only type of energy source that we can holster.
Yeah, that's also a thing that AI couldn't affect.
Definitely not.
So yeah, we were talking about free energy. We've been talking about fusion and all that stuff, and
Ayo.
there you go.
That thing works the same way that a crystal radio works. Have a look at that.
Well, the first thing I think of with that video was Nikola Tesla and what he was doing, tapping into the Earth's natural electromagnetic
Yeah, but you know what?
force.
That's the same way that a crystal radio works, and that doesn't have to. You can actually buy one. Look what it says. Look where it says it's highlighted. It says, as a crystal radio has no power supply, the sound power produced by the earphones comes solely from the transmitter of the radio station being received via the radio waves captured by the antenna.
Wow.
That's literally what a crystal radio is.
Huh. I had no
Same
idea.
thing.
Yo, what's up, Sohan? Pizza, hell yeah. Pizza's always good.
Wait, are they in the chat on your?
No,
YouTube?
he's in the live chat right now on YouTube.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Wow, I had no
Speaking
idea
of,
about this.
wait, hang on.
Radio.
Speaking of technology, can we skip ahead to superconductivity with the LK99 thing that I mentioned?
Yeah, we'll do that.
It made news. It made news again because they might have completely been able to replicate it finally. It looks like Iowa State researchers put out a research paper, a peer-reviewed research paper finally about it. Or I think it's peer-reviewed. I don't know. It is on the Arxiv preprint server, and the name of it is, I'm going to send you the link and then the preprint server page. Because I already put it in the channel, like this is it. But this is the paper itself, which you would normally have to purchase, but I found it.
All right, so talk to us.
And this isn't illegal. This isn't piracy. It's just there. I just found it like that.
Okay, well, talk to us about this.
Yeah.
What is this?
So I'm going to give you a page where you can read something off of. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, it's a ChatGPT page. I'm going to send you something I talked with ChatGPT about regarding this here.
So you had a conversation with an AI involving this. Is what you're saying?
Well, I told it to tell me what would be possible with it, and it said it didn't know, so I described it for him, and then it told me. This is the one here. So try reading that. I'll have you skip up and down because there's a lot of different things that I wrote in there. I like more than one question.
All right.
Scrolling down, you'll see them.
We have 4 minutes left on the YouTube section, so let's just like, in a nutshell this.
We didn't even discuss the NDAA, did we, at the beginning? Did we do that at the beginning?
I was saying, like, we have a lot to discuss and not a lot of time now.
We can do that. We can do that part on the Rumble if you want.
Well, I want to talk about non-YouTube friendly stuff on the Rumble. That's why it's there. So.
Well, that's basically politics at that point, so it's fine, right?
Okay, yeah, then okay.
Right, okay, yeah. So these are possibilities of things with the help of a superconductor superconductor at room temperature. Like these are things that could happen. Like this is from, I asked you to list things from sci-fi that could happen because of it. Go back down to the bottom.
Okay.
It says like lightsabers and time travel and.
So where am I going?
Of course, start at the middle somewhere, because I know that I told it like, hey, list me some things that could happen with the help of a superconductor at room temperature.
Okay,
That's about
name
the right
some hypothetical inventions that may be possible with a room temperature ambient pressure superconductor like LK99.
Yeah.
Okay.
And go down from there.
So a room
and
temperature
read, like,
ambient
the
pressure
bullet points.
superconductor like LK99, if it were to exist, would indeed open up a world of possibilities for various inventions and technological advancements. Here are some hypothetical inventions and applications that could become possible. And I'm not going to read everything, but I will
You can just read some of the bullet
points. I will
points,
include this in the underbar so people can go and look this up themselves.
Good. That was my work.
But we have efficient energy transmission, compact and efficient maglev trains, ultra-high-speed computers, advanced medical imaging, super efficient electric motors and generators, energy storage, fusion battery, advanced transportation systems, which kind of would go along with
already listed up above. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Electromagnetic shields, that's really interesting. Space exploration, obviously. Magnetic levitation.
Again, that's
for
a
urban
repeat.
transportation. We've covered that as well twice now.
Revolutionize electronics.
Yeah, that definitely would improve sensors, superconducting. So some of these are like redundancies, but still, like, you know, really.
Well, if you go down even farther, I ask it to list conventions that come from sci-fi that could become possible because of it.
Name an
in their
invention
list,
from
I said
fiction that could be made possible from this tech.
In a list, the hoverboard from Back to the
lightsabers,
Future.
Transporter, invisibility cloak. Well,
Already
Harry
happened.
Potter, that's more like fantasy than science fiction.
Yeah, but it's the same concept.
Well, that's magic.
The
But what is
holodeck.
magic but technology misunderstood? So that you have that.
Oh, you need to read Arthur C. Clarke if you just said that.
Well, that's a
The
normal
third rule.
saying. Jetpacks,
Yeah.
of course. You know, well, we've already been trying with that. So, holodeck. That's well, you know, like we're almost there with VR and AR. You know, with the holodeck. Like
Basically, the third rule of Arthur C. Clarke, as quoted from his parable "I, Robot," that became a film, not at all like the parable.
Yeah, we
Any
spoke about that
sufficiently
the other
advanced
day on,
technology.
TDH, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. But any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Also goes the reverse way. It goes. There's like a bunch of different variations of it. I'll put this in your DMs again. You can read it off from here. This is basically the rule, the third rule. Like anything we don't understand, yes, it's magic to us. Like a fire, I guess. When Prometheus gave fire to humans in the Greek myth, like that was something they didn't understand until they were given it. Yeah. Variations of the third law. Any sufficiently advanced extraterrestrial intelligence is indistinguishable from God. Any sufficiently advanced act of benevolence is indistinguishable from malevolence. So it's things like that. It's called a contrapositive. Oh, no. A contrapositive of the third law is any technology distinguishable from magic is insufficiently advanced. That's a contrapositive of the original saying. That's the kind of. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The original saying, which is the one that I sent you that you're reading off there.
Yeah, no, sorry, I updating the underbar links and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is the original saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
The one I just sent you. Yeah.
Yeah, variants of the third law right here. So.
The third law is just any sufficiently advanced technology. Magic, basically. Basically
like
magic.
Well, I mean, like, if I go back,
to us, yeah.
If I go back even just 100 years, with this, you know.
Okay, it's 4:00. Do you want to end this segment?
Yeah. So we're gonna anybody watching on YouTube, please meander to the Rumble channel if you don't mind. Please and thank you. We're going to talk about non-YouTube friendly territory, whatnot. The show will continue for another hour, but over there, of course. So yeah, let's say